Now then, this is a strange one. This is a dehumidifier. It's just the case because I've been investigating, and that was a right pain in the neck to get apart. Really terrible. Micro mark. Okay. Dehumid 250. Okay. Doesn't say where it's made. Alright. And it is all the screws. I thought, oh, they'll be 7mm. No. Oh, they'll be 6mm. No. They're quarter. So they're imperial sized hex-headed screws. Let's just see, like those there, they're imperial quarter. Right, okay. It's 240 volts imperial. So, but it doesn't say where it's made. Bit weird. Anyway, this is the unit. Yep, there we go. And this thing was a right pain in the neck to get apart. Yeah, really not sure. Anyway, okay, just before we go any further, we've been on with a bit more throw-in practice. They don't look bad, do they? Yeah. Okay. So, coming round, here's the unit. Now, okay, the fault was the fan did spin. So it wasn't the fan. It would start up and then 30 seconds to a minute later the compressor would stop. And then a while later the compressor would start again, and then after a short while it'd stop again. Okay. Right. There was all sorts of bits of weird equipment here. There was this thing which it looks like some sort of adjustable timer, because that thing there, you can turn that round, and when it's in place there's actually a hole. I don't know whether you can see that hole. There's a hole there to gain access to that, and obviously because it's a cam and slot, you can only turn it one way, so that's a bit odd. Right, let's go and have a look at the label. Here we go. Again, no name. Huh? Yep, 1.5 amps. Time delay fuse, 5 amp. Haven't found that fuse yet. Moisture removal, theoretically 9.5 litres a day. Right. And then we got 220 to 240 volts. And then down here we've got quality assurance with nothing filled out. This sort of feels like early PRC stuff. Yeah, because it's got all that sort of what are we supposed to write on these labels? Let's have a look what the Europeans do, and never get it quite right. But I might be wrong, but having imperial sized hex heads, again, bizarre as a bizarre thing. Anyway, I think the best thing to do now is just to plug it in, and hopefully it will show you what the symptom is. Okay, let's just see how we get on. Oh, there we go. Fans running, compressors running. The reason why, I found out the reason with my investigation before I started this video, because it was one of those things that I thought, if this is not fixable, I'm not going to bother videoing it. But let me just isolate this. Okay, it's unplugged. Now then, with the symptom was the fan was running, not a problem. Yeah. If we wanted to, if we get this fixed, we could take that fan out and lube those bearings, or we could probably drizzle a bit of oil down there. But let me just move the camera around. Right. Okay, so we got this symptom where it would start up, run for a few seconds or 30 seconds and then stop. And then a bit later on it would, like a minute or two later, it'd do the same. Okay, so on these starters here, in fact I probably got one somewhere around. Oh yeah, here's one in the box. Okay. Right, this is a starter. How they work is there's a set of contacts in there, and all the main start or the power goes through this coil, and because the motor is still, there's quite a lot of current going through that, and because of that huge amount of current, it induces a magnetism which pulls these contacts in. Okay. And then as the motor gets up to speed, it doesn't draw as much current, so therefore the contacts drop out. Fair enough. So that is effectively in place of a capacitor start. Yeah, and of course on the back here, yeah, there are three contacts. Okay, right. This thing here, which the power comes in here, comes out there and goes through to there. That is a thermostatic switch. It's a bimetal type switch. Now, if you switch a fridge on and then off, shall we say the fridge is running, yeah, and then you switch it off and then you switch it back on, straight away the compressor is trying to start against all that back pressure of in the system, yeah, before it leaks through the capillary tube, and therefore the compressor won't start. So this thing here is a safety feature. Effectively it warms up, opens up, yeah, and prevents the motor from burning out. Now on this, right, so we got two functions there: the induction to pull in the start coils, and then this overcurrent system here. Okay, you can see the two separate systems there. Now then, on, where are we? Alright, there we go. On this one here, what I found was that I removed this, okay, like that. Are we still in shot? zoom out a bit. There we go. When I took this apart, that was quite hot. Yeah, so obviously it was not working correctly, and I disconnected it, fiddled around, put it all back together, but I put a jumper wire between there and there, like that, and it ran perfectly. So that told me that that was misbehaving. However, because I messed around with it, it's behaving itself now. But how long will it behave itself for? Will it come out? It will. Okay. There's actually a nut and a screw there. Let me zoom down on that. Can you see that? So effectively it's adjustable. Yeah, now I messed around with it and it's working again. But how long will it work for? Do you think it's worth having that apart just to see? I'm not sure. We have another starter there, but by replacing the starter, I suppose we've learnt something. Yeah. Okay. So there's obviously just a contact in there, and the bimetal strip heats up and opens the contact. Now, can you see? Looks like there's a coil in the back there. Yeah. Whoops. Difficult to know whether to take that apart or not. I think we're going to have to. But I'm going to do that off camera because it looks like it's mighty fiddly. Okay. So, I've got it apart, but I've actually destroyed it by taking it apart. So we've got a coil there. Yeah, and the coil heats up with the excess current, and the contacts are quite badly burnt, especially that one there. So this wouldn't again last very long. Yep. So there was a little nut on this side here. Yep. And as I undid it, it just snapped off. On this side, yeah, that nut there is glued in place. Yeah, so it's preset and glued in place. Okay, so we've learnt something. That's the serial number for those people who are into serial numbers. So there you go. Yeah, me fiddling around with it made the contacts, or cleaned the contacts up a bit, but not really good enough for long-term use. So there we go. So what do? Do we put this other starter on there, or do I have a look in the bin of fridge compressor bits? I think we'll do that. So you can learn stuff from this. There's quite an early one because there's a screw there. There we go. Here's another one. Yeah, with a permanently attached wire there. Here's another of those induction contactors, which says to me that these two here, one of those will be the neutral, the other one will be the, will it be the neutral? One will be the live, the other one will be the start coil, and that's probably the neutral, maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, no. Anyway, whichever way round, it's irrelevant. So these are the motor, and that is the either the live or the neutral. Yeah, because those two there. Yeah, so I think I'm going to fit this one because it's identical, whereas this here, which is the one that I've taken out, has got a spade connector on both. And yeah, we could take this out of here because that's identical and fit it in that one. Yeah, let's do that just for the because we can. Thing is, nowadays you don't see so much of this stuff around because, for obvious reasons, the recycling of fridges is closely regulated, so you don't get to delve into the back of old fridges quite so much and take the starter units off. But if I see one now, I'm going to take the starter unit off it and have an investigation. But I think, and it goes again, we've learnt something, haven't we? Now, one of the problems is that I'd sort of partially fixed this, but we'd found the problem. So let's put all this back together and give it a road test for a decent length of time. Okay, I think it was that way round. No, it wasn't. It was that way round. That fits a bit better. Okay, and then so it is the live on there, and this lot is switching the neutral. Okay, so we have on the compressor, can we see? I don't think we can. Oh yeah, we can now. On the compressor there are 3 pins. There we go. So the top one is a run coil on the, and the other one is the start coil, and the bottom one is the common live. There we go. So let's just put this unit back on. A bit fiddly. There, that fits all right. Now, I did have this box was on here, and it's all a bit tight, so I'm not going to put that back on, but this compressor, yeah, we better just have a look at the label on the compressor, hadn't we? Because people will be going, what type of compressor is it? Maybe. Here we go. Embraco, made in Brazil. There you go. 220, 240, thermally protected, yeah. Don't know. Oh, March 95, 24th of March 95. And it's an R134A, which is the type of refrigerant. Okay. It says Joinville SC. Don't know if that's a place in Brazil or what have you. Yeah. Okay, there you go. March 95. Wow. I mean, that's when the compressor was weighed. One assumes that the dehumidifier was made within a year of that compressor being made. So let's say it's 96. Well, and I know this was running up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but you can never tell how long, whether these things are put in constant service or whether they've been sat around for a long time doing note. But you could see a lot of muck, so I'm going to have to blast this out as much as I can, just to all that dusty stuff. And there doesn't seem to be a dust filter on this at all, which is probably not a good thing. But then a lot of the modern dehumidifiers, they've got a fine sort of foamy type, thin foam fluff filter. Either it blocks up totally and nobody cleans it, or it slowly degrades and lets the muck through anyway. So I don't know. Anyway, let's switch this on. I'll switch it on. Hopefully it will start. Yeah, fans running, everything's running. Right, we'll leave it for half an hour. Okay, it's 10 past 11, so it's been running for 25 minutes. Not a problem. Interestingly, something I didn't notice. Whoops. 1995. There we go. Right. Right. Observations. I think we'll just move around the other side of the unit. Here we go. Now then. That's getting mighty warm, which is the warm bit. So it's actually really, you can't keep your thumb on there. Right. This is getting cool, but there's not that much moisture on it. Okay. So maybe it's not as working as efficiently as it should do. After all, yeah, it's 30 years old. Right, so I would expect that there'll be, it's just slightly damp. Yeah. Okay, but it's not dripping with water and it's not freezing up. Okay. Yeah, maybe because that fan's quite a big fan. But don't think so. But the main thing is this compressor is really hot. Really, really hot. So I think, yeah, we got a problem here. Not only that, but let's just move back a bit. I think the design is rubbish. The majority of dehumidifiers, the compressor is between the cold bit and the hot bit. So therefore the fan blowing air over the cold bit then blows cold air over the compressor to keep the compressor cool. And in this situation there is no air being blown over the compressor. So I think that maybe we have a failure of that starter because of constantly over temperature cycling. Yeah, so I'm not going to put this back together. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's not worth repairing any further. I will take the starter off, and I will rob the fan off it, because that's a decent fan and will be used something else, but the rest will go for recycling. Yeah, there, it's switched off, and it can't be switched off because it's yeah, it's switched off because the compressor is too hot, and because the fan's not blowing over the compressor. Anyway, comments, discussion. At least we've investigated a dehumidifier or fridge starter unit, one of the many different types. Yeah, let's hear what you have to think, and I will catch up with you on the next thrilling installment. Cheers for now.